Hello, I'm Lord Naseby. This is Lord Naseby Reviews, and that's all you ever need to know. Now, most of us grew up watching Disney. I mean, it's been around since 1938 when Snow White became the first major full-length feature animation movie. It gave Disney a lot of acclaim. And they've been making full-length animated features since. Some have been good, and some not so much. But I'm going to review one of their films that has been looked on not quite so well. Nothing on the level of like Aladdin or Pinocchio or Bambi. One that's really, really dark. So, without further ado, here's my review of The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Now, I've been to the actual Notre Dame Cathedral, and the opening sequence of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, you're expecting a lot. You get the shot from the clouds and there's the giant choir. And you get this close-up and it just comes closer to the Notre Dame Cathedral. Like I said, I've been to the Notre Dame Cathedral and Disney nailed it. There are a lot of, statues carved into the side of the cathedral that I remember. I'm like, yeah, there it is, right there. Eyes of Notre Dame. Were they placed correctly? Not to my remembering. They've never been bad at visuals since the very beginning. That hasn't changed. For the most part. So, we should probably get to the big stuff. Acting. The voice acting. The voice acting in this film was okay. You have Academy Award winner Kevin Kline playing the captain of the guard Phoebus.
I was summoned from the wars to capture fortune tellers and palm readers.
You have Demi Moore playing the temptress gypsy witch Esmeralda.
Gypsies don't do well inside stone walls.
And you have Academy Award nominee Tom Hulce playing Quasimodo.
Why, if I picked a day to fly, this would be it.
They're okay. They all pale in comparison to Tony Jay as Judge Frollo. He rocks.
This is an unholy demon. I'm sending it back to hell where it belongs.
I mean, the dude has an evil, ominous, threatening sounding voice to begin with, and they use that to full effect in this movie, and it works very, very well. Tom Hulce does alright as Quasimodo. Not as good as he could. Demi Moore's... I thought Kevin Kline sucked. He had his moments where he was alright, but then once really comes down to show his acting chops as like a voice actor, he just failed. Utterly failed, I thought. And the characters are far different than they are in the book. This is Hunchback of Notre Dame is based on a book by Victor Hugo, who was so vain he insisted that Paris be renamed after himself. Anyway, the characters are drastically different. For one thing, Frollo, who is by far one of the most evil Disney villains ever, in the book, he's an anti-hero who actually has a soft side. In the movie, he kills Quasimodo's mother, attempts to drown Quasimodo as a babe because he thinks he looks weird.
A monster.
And because the Archdeacon stops him in time, he's like, okay, I guess I'll care for him.
Very well. But let him live with you in your church.
But in the book, Frollo actually finds Quasimodo as a baby and he's like, out of the goodness of his heart, takes him in and raises him. Now, Quasimodo being a bell ringer for Notre Dame, those are big bells ringing at you the whole time. He goes deaf, so Frollo teaches him sign language. Frollo even cares for his bum brother. He's an anti-hero. He still has that whole lust, religious hypocrisy thing going on, but he's not bad. Quasimodo is pretty much the same thing that in the book that is the movie, minus the singing and everything, and the schizophrenia. He's not really schizophrenic in the book, like he is in the movie. Victor and Hugo and Laverne.
Watching the Festival of Fools has always been the highlight of the year for Quasimodo.
The little statues that he talks to, I'm not sure if they come to life because of the magic of Notre Dame or he's just schizophrenic. I'm just gonna lean to schizophrenic. But judging by some of the other stuff that pops from in this movie, maybe they are coming to life. Esmeralda, she's still kind-hearted, but when it comes to Quasimodo, I mean, she like stops the crowd from taunting him and everything, but yeah, she still kind of hates Quasimodo. she doesn't even want to let him touch her, pretty much, in the book. Quite different from the movie where they're, having hugging scenes and all that. But the most drastic character change is Phoebus. In the book, he's the villain, pretty much. In the movie, he's the hero, he saves the day, No, in the book, all he wants to do is bed Esmeralda, despite the fact that he's engaged to be married. Quite different. And in the book, everybody dies. Everybody. Frollo dies, Quasimodo dies, Esmeralda dies, the little narrator that you see in the beginning of the movie, he dies. Frollo's bum brother dies, just everyone except Phoebus. Phoebus is stabbed in the back by Frollo and almost dies, but doesn't. It's too bad. Overall, the characters were kind of weak. They could have picked a better voice actor for Phoebus. I'm not sure who exactly would have been better for Phoebus. Tony Jay, they nailed that, so props there. Demi Moore was okay, and I guess Tom Hulce was fine, but Kevin Kline, I know the dude won Best Supporting Actor 7 years before the movie. Voice acting is not his forte, I suppose. Let me see, who would be a better voice actor? Someone who just sounded more manly. By the way, he's apparently incredibly strong because Quasimodo, who I assume is not, light, he's dropping like a rock from the top of the Notre Dame Cathedral, and Phoebus just reaches out and boom, and catches him. Someone just more manly. It just didn't work for me. There's two guards in the beginning. One's like Patrick from SpongeBob, and the other one has this giant mustache. They're really inconsistent characters, I noticed. In the beginning, they're comic relief. You have Achilles, Phoebus' horse, sit on them.
Achilles, sit.
Hey, whoa!
And of course, they have to get an Achilles heel joke in there.
Achilles, heel.
And then you have them two bumbling guards. Just, they're funny.
Troublemaker, huh?
Maybe a day in the stocks will cool you down. Oh, Captain! No! At your service, sir!
But later in the film, they're not funny. With comic relief, you kind of have to be consistent. If C-3PO started just pulled out a shotgun and was like, yeah, let's take down the Empire. It's that doesn't fit with the character you've just established at all. Later in the film, when Phoebus saves a family from burning to death because Frollo, on a whim, decides, let's kill them all to make a point. One of them knocks him to the ground, is just about to behead him, and he looks like he's really ready to do this. By the end of the film, they kind of start veering back into comic relief.
Alone at last.
If you establish a character, you should make it consistent, unless they go through some drastic character change, obviously. But they don't. They get 5 minutes of screen time at most. Overall, I give the characters 7.5 out of 10. They were alright. Could have been better. On to the plot. For Disney, it is incredibly dark. So they rate this one G. I'm going to carefully explain what a stupid thing that was to do. I know why. Disney has all kinds of power. In terms of movie studios, it has the most power out of any of them. Except for Harvey Weinstein, who should stop doing everything. They obviously used their influence to make it a G movie. I think they thought they'd lose some of their target audience if it was a PG movie. It should have been a PG movie. And I think if DreamWorks had made Hunchback of Notre Dame